Welcome back to SoCalCollegeSports.com coverage of the 3C2A State Final Four Championship Sunday, brought to you by Wilson. We've crowned a women's champion already in the early match. Congratulations again to the Hawks of Santiago Canyon. Now it's time for the men. We've got a heavyweight match between the top seeds in the tournament. Number 1 from the north, the Rams of Fresno City College, and number 1 from the south, the Mounties of Mount San Antonio. Joe Hickey here in Cupertino with Jeff Stoyanoff. And Jeff, we got two teams here that certainly have gotten the job done. Just a single loss in between the two of them. But they've got very different ways of going about that.
Yeah, Mount San Antonio College, tremendous depth of talent and a threat constantly offensively. 80 goals on the season, that ranks them in the top 3 in the 3C2A in terms of goals scored. And obviously they're going to look to put constant pressure on you, but they could hardly have found a more stern challenge than Fresno City College, who have allowed a staggeringly low total of 7 goals on the season, working on a streak of 567 consecutive minutes without allowing a goal. And it's going to create a fascinating matchup here for Mount San Antonio College. They need to try and press against this very difficult defense. Meanwhile, Fresno obviously going to try and lay back and try and find a time to strike back quickly. A quick counter, 1 goal may be all it takes. It should be high drama here today.
And we saw that in the semifinal against Cerritos College. A late first half set piece ended up being the difference between the two teams. And that came actually after, I believe, a counterattack that earned them the corner in the first place.
Yeah, it was just that quick in a first half that Cerritos had more time on the attack. They outshot Fresno City College in the game, as you would expect. But the Rams, so disciplined, so patient defensively, and able to create the quick counter, and then obviously they were able to make it stand up in the second half. It's an incredible achievement. They actually played Cerritos twice, and it's something that we talked about. 180 minutes between the two teams in the 2 games, and Cerritos could never find the back of the net against them. It was a scoreless tie in the regular season matchup and a 1-0 win in the semifinal matchup back on Friday. So that'll give you a sense of just how difficult it is to score. But the Mounties present a huge challenge because not only are they so good offensively, but they're so well coached and have so much talent on the back line themselves. They're not an easy team to get it done against when you go about attacking their defense. They're a very complete team. So it's a huge challenge for both teams here, as you would expect in a championship final.
And against Foothill, the 2 goals, or at least the 1 goal that did count, and then eventually a second goal that was disallowed, coming on by way of penalty and set piece as well. So we'll turn it over to you here for the play-by-play of this men's game.
We'll set the starting lineups. We'll start with Mount San Antonio College. They're the road team for the final. Up front on the forward line, it's number 7, Angel Santoyo, and number 17, Gerardo Cazares. In the midfield, number 6, Herminio Padilla, number 8, Guilherme Farias, number 10, Ivan Escobar, number 12, Paul Iniguez, number 15, Anthony Vargas, and on the back line, the defenseman, number 3, Jorge Estrada, number 4, David Aguilar, and number 5, Jacob Sauter, as Mount Sac will work in the maroon jerseys today from left to right here in the first half. Let's get to the Fresno lineup while the teams get going. Up front, it's Mason Gonzalez, number 9, and Michael Gonzalez, number 11, as well as Eduardo Segura, who's listed as both forward and midfielder. So that creates an interesting strategic dynamic to see how Segura is indeed utilized today. Midfielders, number 1, Melvin Benitez, number 3, Alexis Rodriguez, number 5, and number 10, Gio De Santos. And then on the back line, it's number 3, Michael Arrington, number 4, Angel Alvarado, number 4, Estevan Rangel, and number 15, Pedro Gomez. The goalkeepers today, Alan Hernandez in goal for Mount Sac, Evan Gementi, the goalkeeper for Fresno today. As we're just moving into the second minute, and the Mounties on the attack with Estrada. Estrada tries to fan it outside, and that one broken up, and the Rams will look to counter. Cleared out, but out of bounds, and who will it belong to? It's going to be a throw-in for the Mounties. They'll play it back to Hernandez to set things up. Mounties led by top goal scorers Gerardo Cazares and Angel Santoyo, the 2 combined for 33 goals on the season. That's one of the big matchups here today, Joe. That front line against the back line of Fresno City College.
Indeed.
Once again, have only allowed 7 goals all season long.
And Cerritos certainly having a difficult time, even with their pyrotechnic attack, getting much of anything from that.
Back to Hernandez, who will launch down the far side. trying to find Vargas, and that one too strong, and a throw in coming for Fresno City College. Fresno in the white jerseys. They'll work it from right to left. The team's records coming in. Mount Sac trying to complete what would be an undefeated season with a record of 22-0-3. With the win on Friday, Fresno moved to 17-1-7. And the 7 draw is not a huge surprise with a team that plays the style that Fresno does. A year ago, Mount Sac was knocked off in the regional finals, didn't make it up to the Final Four last year at Ventura College. So they're back and trying to secure what would be their first championship since 2016. Fresno City College came in last year as the top seed in the North, as a hard drive and a slide by Padilla knocks it away. But Fresno City College came in last year, a lot of potential, thinking championship, thinking about repeating themselves as the 2017 champions. But they were upended by Golden West College in a 2-0 win in the semifinal. As unheralded Chris Perdomo, I went back to look it up. 2 goals in the first half for Perdomo, who played 9 games on the season for Golden West and had 2 goals, and both of them came in the semifinal. Talk about great timing. And he went a long way towards single-handedly knocking off the Rams. This one headed on goal and a save for Hernandez.
Interesting wrinkle up in the attack right now. We see Alan Hernandez, who, excuse me, my mistake, not that, Melvin Benitez, rather, listed as a midfielder, but currently stationed as the center forward up here. We also see Eduardo Segura to answer that question in the forward lines. And so interesting to think that may have something a little bit to do with the role that the midfielders and forwards are actually going to play. If you bring a center mid into that forward line, perhaps you're looking for a bit more in the way of control from him rather than actual conclusions toward goal.
Terrific centering pass and a high shot and a juggling save for Gamenti off a great look from Iniguez. Just outside the box, but this one is on goal, and Gamenti needed every inch of height as you watch the replay.
That's the right idea if you're going to try to beat somebody centrally there, is to see if you can loop it just over them.
Gonzalez gets beyond Souter, but the centering pass sent back out, and the Mounties will look to counter. Getting it to Escobar. Wanted Cazares, and the ball out of play. It's going to be a throw-in coming for Fresno here in the 5th minute. Men's Championship, 3C2A Soccer Championship here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Rangel working on the far side. That one sent up by Alvarado. Back and forth at midfield. And the one-timer from Aguilar, partially fanned on it. And the Rams regain possession with Benitez. Pass ahead looking for Segura. And it's broken up and sent back out. Well, this is more time in the other team's defensive zone for Fresno in the first 5 or 6 minutes than we saw probably in the whole first half.
Yeah, looking at a little bit of a change of attack, a bit of a change of approach, perhaps, dealing with the more pyrotechnic Mount Sac offense. We talked in the pregame a little bit about how sometimes when you're a very attacking side facing a stern defense, the best thing you can do is focus on your defense. It looks like Fresno might be taking that entire sentence and flipping it.
Yeah, you wonder to what degree this is a compliment and a nod toward the fact that they can't sit back and wait for Mount San Antonio College, and they're just too dangerous to try and pack it in. Escobar streaking down the near side, centering pass, but only white jerseys in the area. And the Rams will send it back out. They try to thread it into Benitez, and the Mounties had the steal for a minute, but Benitez working hard. Comes back, ends up with the steal. They try to switch the attack. The Mounties have it. They're on the attack. Padilla tries to drop a pass looking for a driving Santoyo, and it's sent back out as the Rams will just clear it out to midfield. Throw-in coming from Mount Sac.
On that tackle from Benitez right there, just great use of the low center of gravity, fantastic balance, and the sort of thing you can get now, again, having a midfielder in that sort of role, very comfortable tracking back, ending up anywhere on the field to spring an unexpected double team.
Another pass intercepted. 50-50 ball, and the Mounties have it for the moment, still loose. And now the Mounties gain control. Padilla in the center, fans it outside. Again, Santoyo on the drive. Can't quite find the handle, and there's that Rams defense for you. As they send that one clear, I believe that was Alvarado over on that far side. Joe, they're just so good defensively. It's just going to be very difficult talking with Dave LaTourette a little bit about this game, the associate head coach at Santa Rosa Junior College, and agreeing with the assessment that you just can't attack this team with dribble drives and holding the ball and doing a lot of passing. They're too disciplined. They're too good defensively. You got to be very unselfish, move the ball very quickly. The longer you hold it, the more people the Rams can drop back defensively, and they can make it a nightmare for you to try and get anything going offensively.
And that is the way that Mount Sac largely attacked Foothill. So for them as well, a change of strategy potentially needed. So we talked a little bit about them being a bit wasteful on some of their chances in front of goal. That 3-1 victory over Foothill could have been out of reach by halftime. Yep. But some of the shots they settled for in that game here might be a better idea. Some of the long distance shots that in that particular encounter felt like settling for something not nearly as good as what they could get. Instead here might give you a chance at a ricochet, something that baits the defense, gets them out of position, and you get something maybe a little ugly.
Yeah, absolutely. Against a team that's been so good defensively all year. Hey, listen, take a little luck. Maybe a ball bounces clear, and that's how you get a good look at an empty net. See how the Mounties elect to play. So far, they've had a difficult time really getting any kind of shot, although they had the great look from Iniguez that he nearly put in from about 25 yards out. That highlights the danger. Chipped into the box. And again, the Rams back, but this one's still loose. Santoyo will get it back. About 30 yards out, looking for the give and go to Iniguez, but Iniguez not on the same page. Still loose. Escobar's got it back. Mounties continue the attack. Iniguez. They'll try to switch it to the far side. Vargas trying to run it down, but he'll run out of real estate, and the Rams will have it back. 10th minute. Just underway.
Decent idea to try to spread the field a little bit and get working in those corners. At the moment, that line of Fresno defenders looks awfully imposing.
One of the first touches for Gio dos Santos, who was outstanding in the win over Cerritos, really controlling the midfield for Fresno City College. And this one launched by Alvarado Segura. Tries to head it back. Benitez sends it into the box, but the slow bouncer scooped up by Hernandez.
Nice work by David Aguilar, who did not participate in the semifinal, trying to just ward off and get in the way of Benitez and prevent him from getting to it before his keeper could.
Souter plays it ahead. Padilla will switch it to the far side. This one squirts by Souter, but no pressure coming, and he'll recover. Padilla gets ahead of steam over the stripe. On the attack, here come the Mounties. They feed it to Cazares, who will one time over the crossbar. And maybe that's a little bit of what you're talking about there, Joe. And I think Cazares maybe saying to himself at some level, this is a pretty good look. Maybe we'll see if we can make something happen from here. And
yeah, playing
a team that gives you so few opportunities, you got to take them where they come.
Exactly, changes the definition of what a good look might actually be. Be interesting to see. At the moment, they've been going high, trying to beat Gimenti from distance. You might start to see if they can pack the box a little more, a few drives along the ground, something that might actually take that useful deflection.
Another turnover near midfield. Cazares with the touch pass looking for Santoyo on the far side. It's broken up and sent back by Rangel. But we have a whistle and throw in coming as this one's out of play. And Mount Sac will get it back. Over to Souter. Souter with the head up, and you can already see how the Rams not really putting much pressure on the ball, even in the midfield area. They're content to drop players back.
Free kick taken quickly there.
Padilla launches. And that well over the crossbar and out of play.
At the moment, they're just getting further and further off on these long bombs.
You look at the replay here, and you see the stark contrast compared to some of the games we've seen this week where there's been much more pressure on the ball and trying to create offensive opportunities that way. And the Rams just simply not wanting to overcommit at this point. And maybe that's a little bit about the team that they're playing, but also I think it's the style. The Rams take some time off in their own third, finds Gonzalez, who sidesteps Souter. The ball played ahead and controlled by Segura. We'll leave it for Gonzalez. Gonzalez has been the offensive star in the postseason for the Rams with 3 of their 4 goals that they scored in the postseason to get here to the Final Four. And then it was Michael Vega off the bench.
And the one substitute used by their team. And you want to talk about about a good choice.
With the header on the set piece, the corner kick, and that was the difference against Cerritos in the semifinals. But you keep an eye on Mason Gonzalez. He's the primary playmaker on that front line for Fresno City College, and they'll want to put the ball on his feet at some point if they can.
Can I just comment on how odd it looks to see an outfield player wearing number 1?
Indeed you can. Escobar, the hard drive on the near sideline, and he's going to run out of room, and who is this off of? It's going to be off of Escobar. And that's the good help coming over from Michael Arrington to put the pressure on, and we'll have a goal kick coming for Fresno, and it's just going to be so hard to attack with the ball on the ground.
This lovely technique and balance to get himself in between the attacker and the ball and shepherd that out safely.
Out of play, and Fresno with the throw-in coming. Gonzalez trying to keep it alive and does. Starts to drive on Aguilar, tries to split the double team, but coming back it's Padilla. Dropping back to poke it free. Headed back toward the box. Benitez giving chase, but it's cleared away back to midfield. Michael Gonzalez trying to control and does, but Iniguez with the hard defense knocks it free. The Rams will send it into space down the far side. Aguilar again able to. What was the term you used? Scorpion? Scorpion kick there?
Yeah,
I like that one.
Little heel flick of something way behind you.
And a good play by Aguilar. Now they'll try the long pass ahead to Escobar. Escobar will back out. Dogged closely by Arrington. And again, the ball over the end line and going back to Fresno. And rather than Gimente have the kick, it'll be Segura that will initiate. Trying to get it Gonzalez, but good coverage by Farias. Farias plays it off of Rodriguez, chipped in front of the goal, but playable for Gimente.
Quite the reach there from Evan Gimente.
It was Iniguez again. And hard to say there. I think he was trying to maybe drop it in front, see if maybe he could find somebody in front of the goal.
It had to be that because you don't want to be going aerial against a goalkeeper with that stature.
Yeah, one of the more routine saves. Now a turnover in the backfield. Santoyo. And just for a moment, Farias took his eyes off it. It slips past him and back to Fresno. Benitez in space, plays it ahead, counter developing. Here come the Rams. Centering pass sent back out. It was Arrington on the drive, and he tried to center it up for Segura. But that's a great job by the Mounties getting back in transition. And you can talk about the Rams defense, Joe, but don't be fooled. Again, the Mounties incredibly diverse as a team, and they excel in all areas of the game. And they can play some defense.
They may need to. Fresno, as we've seen here, trying to grow into this. Here's a chance for Benitez to see if he can get a ball away here. That's somebody who's a real threat. We already saw him do it in the defensive third to try and turn you over in that three-quarter zone. player down here for the Mounties, though.
Gomez, meanwhile, clears it out, and there is the whistle. And I want to say maybe that's Santoyo. He's turned away just slightly from us. You can't quite get a look at the jersey. Is it number 7?
That was the 7. That's Angel Santoyo.
And a more important player you could scarcely find for Mount San Antonio College with 17 goals, including the exclamation point in the 3-1 win against Foothill. It was Santoyo who scored in extra time to give the Mounties the margin of victory at 3-1. Mounties content to work on the far side. Iniguez trying to fan it out. And that one off of the Mounties and back to Fresno here in the 18th minute.
Bit of an unforced error there. We've seen a couple of those. The one up at the top of the box from Farias in particular costly. That looked like a really good-looking attack developing.
Absolutely. Farias with the old football equivalent of running before he secured the ball.
Yep.
The pass threaded through, but Alvarado there to clear it out, but not all the way out. This is Cazares, who had the opening goal in the early stages of the win over Foothill, and down he goes. And do we have a call coming? This is going to go back to Fresno, so no call
looks like
coming.
nothing there.
So a good hard tackle, and no call coming, and it goes back to Fresno. Cazares scored about 5 minutes in, I believe it was in the 5th minute, to give Mount Sac that immediate 1-0 lead over Foothill that they turned into the eventual 3-1 win. Gio DeSantos plays it ahead. Benitez going to come back.
Again, we see the great balance from Benitez there, shoved from behind. I think he might have been able to earn a free kick if he'd actually tumbled a little bit there, but
played ahead to midfield to Segura. Now the Rams will look to attack. Michael Gonzalez plays it ahead. Still driving, tries to center up, but only Hernandez there on a shot that was heading wide. And the pressure from Estrada.
It appears that's taken a deflection, so we'll have our day's first corner.
Off of Estrada. And the danger here, self-evident to anybody who's been watching this weekend, is obviously the Rams scored the goal on a corner kick.
Actually, all but one goal scored in the women's semifinals and final also came off of these set pieces.
Top of the box and cleared out. Rams trying to keep it in, and they do. Great poke check. The ball is free. The Mounties may be looking for a counter. A little pulling from Mason Gonzalez. That's just a heady play by Mason Gonzalez as Farias will play it outside. Gonzalez slowing the counter.
Now picked off by Fresno. They left 2 or 3 defenders back on the corner kick to avoid exactly the kind of counter we thought we saw was developing.
Farias will play it back, and the Mounties will switch. Souter now. Played it out. This is Estrada. See a lot of the switching the attack from the Mounties, both in their own zone and then in the Ram zone. As a long pass ahead, Gomez heads it clear. And I think when you're going against a very good defense, they'll play it back to Clemente. The more you can switch the attack, the more you can at least make the defense move. You want to see if you can move them, get them maybe overcommitted to a certain part of the field, and then get something going back on the other side. So the strategic wheels turning on both sides. Segura, about 35 yards out, drops it back. This is Arrington. Rodriguez, shot blocked at the point. Ends up on the feet of Gonzalez. Gonzalez on a hard drive. And was that poked free?
It looks like last touch off of Gonzalez, so that'll be a goal kick here.
All right, so the ball back to Mount San Antonio College in the 22nd minute. No score again. Those of you just joining us, Santiago Canyon, the 2-0 win in the women's championship earlier this morning. So we've had back-to-back champions on the women's side. We will not have back-to-back champions on the men's side no matter what happens here. Cerritos defeated in the semifinals, but Each of these teams has won a championship in the last 3 years.
Right, in fact, faced off against each other in the 2016 edition of this game.
A fantastic game. Indeed, that went down to the wire. In fact, if my memory's right, I want to say it even went to penalty kicks. I could be wrong.
I think we have the technology to check in on that if we so choose.
But we should get another good one here. I'll be stupefied if we don't.
So far, poised on a knife's edge.
Vargas tries to center, sent back. Now he'll send it back in. Farias trying to gain control. Down he goes in the box. No call. The Rams have the steal.
Just enough there, I think, from might have been Anthony Vargas.
Michael Gonzalez in control. Rams will retreat and reset. The Rams at this point happy to play in their third. They don't mind running a little bit of time, but you also have the feeling, Joe, that they're trying to draw a Mount San Antonio College into overcommitting defensively and maybe trying to make something happen, create a steal in their backfield. That's going to give them the chance to create their own counter. So again, you can see the wheels turning as Ju DeSantos is down right in front of us, but he is helped to his feet and appears to be okay.
And that's where Mount Sac, you know, just the quality of the coaching staff, kind of trying to remind their players that you cannot play into that game. It seemed like Cerritos got a little bit baited toward the end of the first half, started to put together a few things by committing numbers forward, got hit on a counterattack, gave away a corner, and ended up giving up the game-winning goal on that.
And it's just that quickly to turn the entire dynamic. One play can do it. Long pass sent ahead, but Estrada will clear it back out, and the Mounties will look to mount an attack. They come from the far side, top of the box. Centering pass, and it's DeSantos who knocks it free, but the Mounties recover. Escobar, or rather Vargas, going to chip it in front. The ball is loose, but Gomez out with it for the Rams, and he'll clear to DeSantos. Miscommunication perhaps on the pass from Rodriguez as it's sent out of bounds, and a throw-in coming for Mount San Antonio College. Again, they'll clear to Souter. Now, Souter's had all kinds of room on that near side with the lack of Ram pressure.
Instead, putting the pressure on right here.
Steal by Benitez. DeSantos tries to play it ahead into space, and Aguilar with a terrific slide knocks it free, and Hernandez scoops it up. Boy, Aguilar, just for the briefest of moments, Joe, looked like he might have gotten beat on that play, but what a great recovery.
Yeah, he wasn't facing us, but I'm sure his eyes were big as saucers at that moment.
Santoyo dogged by Gomez, and Gomez pokes it free. It ends up with Michael Gonzalez, tries for the give and go with Mason Gonzalez. And that one played into space and recovered by Mount Sac. Well, so far it's not entirely dissimilar from our first game here today.
No, very cagey.
The women's final with both teams taking turns really having some moments, but not really able to get much of anything going in terms of great chances. Meanwhile, it was Vargas trying to split the double team, but knocked free. DeSantos in space, looking for Gonzalez, who didn't have his head up. Farias plays it to Santoyo. Santoyo drops it ahead, and a one-timer is wide from Santoyo coming back to get that ball. He got a pretty good look.
Yeah, Santoyo leaning a little bit as this comes off his foot, and I think that's why he can't quite get the instep wrapped around it.
Yeah, it was just kind of a loose ball. That's a heady play by Santoyo to really stay on top of that play as he was trying to get it to Farias, and instead the ball off a Ram defender ends up in space, and Santoyo dropped the hammer but missed it wide.
And like we said, you might not be able to get that goal with tidy play through the midfield and through the forward lines. You might need to look for a moment where Fresno just kind of has either a shutoff or just an unlikely, difficult control.
Yeah, you might need something relatively highlight reel here if you're Mount Sac to get something going.
Well, we've got replay. That works for me.
Right? I never mind that. Cazares. And it's Arrington bringing the pressure again, and Gonzalez ends up with it as it's cleared out, but not all the way. Souter will keep it in, and now the Mounties elect to retreat and set up. Estrada to the far side. Chipped in looking for Farias, but it's Vargas who will give chase. It's going to be out of play and back to Fresno in the 28th minute. $12 goals in 4 games for Mount San Antonio College here in the postseason. Of course, 6 of those came in the opening round win against Norco, but...
And you mentioned that one, they were down 2-1 at halftime, is that right? They've got a bit of a habit of getting into holes early in games.
Yeah, down 2-1 up until the 67th minute. Gonzalez on the attack, fans it outside. Rams with a chance. Just right of the box. Still in control, centering pass. Blocked at the point, and a one-timer over the crossbar.
And Gonzalez coming up a little lame for the effort there, and a yellow card awarded for the challenge.
It was Vega who ended up taking the shot, the hero from the win on Friday. Or rather, Vega dropped the pass, excuse me.
Yeah, the service from Gonzalez there on that collision certainly helped Mount Sac have a moment to get their wits back about them, because Gonzalez was shot out of a cannon at the beginning of that, but the challenge, not legal, but enough to force that pass a little wider and deeper than I think that Vega would have liked it.
Looking at the right ankle of Gonzalez. And Mason Gonzalez, the leading scorer on the season for Fresno City College with 10 goals.
Yet to hear the owner of that yellow card.
And they will help him to his feet. So it's been Aguilar that was playing that center back position for the most part for Mount San Antonio College. That's right about the area of the field where he might be, but we don't have official confirmation on what the call was, as obviously the Mounties were dropping players back as well.
Yeah, certainly in a moment like that, it can get awfully confused in there.
On the pitch for the Mounties, number 9, Jason Garcia.
So Jason Garcia on for Mount San Antonio College.
We do actually have the confirmation from Dave Silverstein running live stats over there. It's Herminio Padilla.
Padilla, okay, the midfielder with the yellow card. Meanwhile, Sebastian Caballero on for Fresno City College. So a couple of substitutions during the injury time. This one headed back. Cazares in the area, but Gomez will clear. And eventually cleared out by Rangel. Back to midfield. Vega trying to control and does. Drops the pass. Rodriguez ahead. This is Caballero, who's just checked in. Caballero on the wing. Gets it on the left foot. Shot on goal, but Hernandez well positioned for the save.
A little bit of what the men in Blazers would call a chasse, perhaps, right there. Unclear what the intention might have been. Had a nice runner coming in at the near post, but a little bit too close to the keeper for him to have much of a chance at it.
Padilla will play it out to Souter. Souter on the try, but Gomez aggressively up, pokes that one free. 50-50 ball won by Fresno as Vega has it. Tries to drop the pass out and does. This is DeSantos. Michael Gonzalez. That one overran by the Mounties as Souter giving chase, rather it's Jason Garcia who's just checked in. Meanwhile, played back out, and the Rams will get it back. This is Gomez. Gonzalez tried to touch pass, looking for a drive from DeSantos, but only Farias is there for Mount Sac. This is Garcia back to Souter. Hernandez. Get it to Souter. Souter wants the long pass. It's through. Meanwhile, a reaction from the crowd as down goes Gerardo Cazares. And the Mount Sac faithful want a call. And in fact, specifically, Joe, they're asking for a yellow card. Our referee today, Conrad Garcia. First linesman, Eric Earhart. Second
Looks
linesman,
like
Stephen McGonigal. Sorry, Joe.
Well, it does look like the referee wants to at least have a chat with the tackler on that play. Doesn't seem to be reaching for a pocket yet, but we'll see if that's going to be a dramatic reveal.
It's Arrington. And evidently, whatever Arrington said was enough. Free kick coming from midfield. And they'll play it short as Souter will get it back.
Cazares, at least for a little while there, was tucking in, maybe trying to find a bit more of the game. They had Santoyo isolated up top. They're right back to the standard 4-4-2 right now, though.
As Cazares plays it out to Santoyo. Padilla moving up. Padilla had a goal in the semifinal win on a penalty kick early in the second half. That gave Mount Sac what at the time seemed like a nearly insurmountable 2-0 lead. Of course, we ended up having quite a bit of drama before it was all said and done. Garcia looking to switch the attack. And that one skips up and over and out of play. And back to Fresno. And we haven't had rain in a little while here, but I think still somewhat slick on the field, and you're going to see the ball squirt a little bit. Ball goes back to Mount Sac, and this is Garcia. In on Gonzalez. Moving left, he's looking for a lane, plays it to Padilla.
I think the relief at this point is just that it's not windy.
Shot coming from 40 yards, and that's Escobar, who started out here on the right side, the near side, as they move it from left to right, shifting people around. You talked about Santoyo being at the top, and obviously the chess match continues. And that shot from Escobar wide of the mark.
Yeah, Cazares right now headed back into the left side of the midfield. Oh, my mistake, actually heading out for a substitution.
And it's Pisano who will come in. Pisano was the one substitute that we saw on Friday, and he's off the bench again. And well, look no further than earlier this morning to once again see the difference that a player coming in as a substitution can make. As Brianna Diaz put her stamp on a victory for Santiago Canyon with a couple of assists. And we'll see here as we move forward in the next hour and a half who the hero here is going to be, who the heroes might be. Arrington playing it ahead. Vega able to control, circles right. Padilla with the hard defense. The Rams still have it. Touch it back outside. They fan it out to Gonzalez. Arrington in from the left. Chips to the far side of the box, headed back out nicely. The Mounties clear it, but not all the way. DeSantos. And they'll work it around Arrington. Gonzalez, guarded closely by Garcia, tries to split the double team. DeSantos recovers. Rodriguez will send it back. The Rams reset. Moving into minute 37. Give and go. Arrington looking for the ball on the drive, but Gonzalez instead chips it toward the middle. Rams still keep it. Arrington trying to keep it alive. And the contest coming from Garcia, plays it out, and a throw-in coming. It'll belong to Fresno.
Arrington had a lot of space out in front of him on that run earlier. I'm not sure that was the right decision. perhaps just a difficulty.
I saw Arrington really getting a hard drive going off the ball and looking for a pass maybe into space to see if they could build something there. But the Mounties bringing some pressure on the ball once the ball gets into their zone. The pass from Alvarado, a little soft, ends up in a loose ball that the Mounties recover. Santoyo quickly doubled in the ball, poked free, and back to Arrington. Dos Santos starts to make a move, but Farias dropping back has the steal. Santoyo takes the feed. 50-50 ball, the Mounties will keep it. Farias plays it ahead, nobody home. And now Alvarado will clear it back into Mountie territory and all the way back to Hernandez.
Fresno starting to play around with pressing Michael Arrington a bit further forward than we've seen. He's back in his defensive position right now, but very willing and able to get up on that overlap.
Padilla gets it to Iniguez. Iniguez fans it out for Escobar. Escobar around a slide tackle. In from the left, centers it up, sent back out. Rams able to clear it. And Segura gets it ahead. Caballero giving chase, and it'll be played back to Hernandez. It's a nice job by Rodriguez. After the Mounties appeared to have an attack developing just left of the box. But Rodriguez well positioned to clear it back out. Farias, great slide tackle. As that was Gerardo Mora, who was in off the bench, able to knock that one free.
Both teams making an awful lot more use of their bench than they did yesterday. We saw just one substitute aside. Not yesterday, Friday.
A nod toward the possibility of having to go 120 minutes or more here before it's all said and done today. Although I don't know how much energy you need left for penalty kicks. I guess that's the only thing left after 120 minutes. Into the box and played back out. Padilla will clear. Santoyo just outside the box. And Clemente able to just punch it over the crossbar.
We continue to see these attempts from outside the box being the dominant method of going after Clemente. He's a big goalkeeper, perhaps a little less mobile, and maybe if they can get these a bit further to the sides, have a bit more of a chance of beating him.
I'll tell you, that had top corner written all over it. What a save by Clemente.
Yeah, lucky to actually already be hedging a bit to his right.
He needed every inch to get that one. Meanwhile, the Mounties do get a corner kick out of it, so another chance coming here. As Mount Sac will look to come up with a set piece here. Padilla. The header cleared by the Rams, but Padilla recovers. One-timer from Farias in front, and the one-hopper taken by Clemente.
Lucky there with the substitute Pisano lurking, almost got a toe poke to that. Could have been a real problem for Clemente, already into his dive. Any deflection probably would have carried that in.
Yeah, you look at some of these saves, and the save itself might not seem overly complicated, but the stakes are high. Any ball that pops free could lead to a rebound. Here come the Rams on a quick counter shot on goal, and Hernandez comes up with the save. Good look from Gerardo Mora. And Mora got a strong shot on goal, but Hernandez anticipating and positioned well. Moving toward the 42nd minute. Arrington plays it back to Mora. Mora sidestepping Santoyo, who went for the steal.
That was cute.
What a feed from Arrington, and Mora will play it ahead into space. Caballero with the hard drive, but Hernandez wins the race.
Great anticipation. The second that ball came off the foot of Arrington over here, Hernandez was at full gallop.
Arrington looked like he was trapped. amid 3 maroon jerseys. Nifty play to keep that alive. Now Arrington will challenge on the long pass to Garcia. And Souter plays it off of Arrington and out.
See, I think if the field weren't quite as slick as it currently is, that might have sat for Arrington to get to.
I like the aggressiveness from Arrington, but again, that's the kind of overextension that you have the feeling that at some level maybe Mount Sac is hoping for, that they can get that kind of commitment and see if they can get a quick counter back the other way. Always something of a tightrope that you're walking.
And by the same token, Fresno trying to get the same out of Mount Sac, maybe to open up some space at the back here as they continue to push forward.
Hernandez launches to midfield. 50-50 ball, and it's won by Morez. He plays it ahead to Gonzalez. Mason Gonzalez has returned for Fresno City College as he drops it off to Arrington. Ahead to Mora. Mora finds Arrington. This is Mora on the wing. Souter again, or I should say Garcia with the pressure. And that ball played off of Mount San Antonio College. Throw in coming for Fresno.
And DeSantos showing well for that one. Might have been a good idea to feed him, give him a chance to put something in with that left boot before the defender had arrived.
Arrington on the end line trying to find a lane, and it's played out. Another throw in coming. Souter able to get over and send that one out of play. Rams, you see, still with 3 players back at midfielder, and they're not going to overcommit. Sent in, headed high. Gonzalez battling for it, and it's clear, and whistles come in.
And that's an interesting call there. I thought perhaps DeSantos had underswept the player.
Do we have the replay? I don't know if we caught that one.
Let's see what we see here. The number 10 getting into position there, and it seems to be that they've decided it was enough of a shove there to sanction it, but not a lot in that.
So the call against Escobar then for Mount San Antonio College, and a dangerous free kick coming if you're Mount Sac, as it's Rodriguez who will line it up. And 4 on the wall for the Mounties.
This is right about when Fresno got their goal 2 days ago.
Rodriguez chips hard to go! Well, I got to tell you, Joe, nice call. Alexis Rodriguez.
The hook on that free kick just hit sweet as you like.
And he's thinking shot here all the way.
I think he put that between the left and the center left person in that wall, just between their heads. Didn't need a whole lot of altitude.
See the drive coming, but the shot all the way and just inside the post. Shades of Friday afternoon. Fresno City College finds an opportunity late in the first half, and they grab the 1-0 lead. Souter back in play, has that one played out by Vega.
This certainly has the possibility of really bringing the game to life a bit in the second half. You almost wish it had happened a little earlier to make the end of the first half more frenetic. But Mount Sac now, of course, know that they're going to actually need to score just to keep this thing going.
Not on the same page on the give and go, as Jason Garcia was looking for Jacobo to drive. And instead, the ball back to Fresno City College as we are in stoppage time here in the first half.
Still can't get over that free kick. Hernandez had the post covered, but just enough height on that. Just that perfect spot where you're over the wall, but you're not going to quite have it dip down where his hand can get when he's at full stretch.
Hernandez has a beat on it, but it just keeps hooking away from him, and he can't catch up to it. Well, those that have followed the Mounties this season know that one of the struggles for this team, to the degree that you can have one when you're 22-0-3, is that they would tend to get off to a slow start sometimes, put themselves behind in first halves. They've had to come back multiple times on the season to come up with wins, but maybe never has the mountain been quite this high as having to come up with a goal against a team that's only allowed 7 as a team on the year.
And a great closure there on Rangel as Padilla tried to get off to a run on the left side of the box.
So the Rams will have the kick. Say probably another couple of minutes of stoppage time coming here.
They had the one injury to Mason Gonzalez.
Tries to play this one on a hop and does to Escobar, who controls left of the box. Escobar looking for a lane to center, plays it out to Iniguez. Iniguez sidesteps to Santos, now chipped into the box. Clemente high up. Only Garcia was there, and a little less stoppage time than I would have thought. That'll do it for the first half. As we head to halftime, it's Fresno City College grabbing the 1-0 lead over Mount San Antonio College. You are watching the 3C2A Soccer Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. We welcome you back to De Anza College, the 3C2A Men's Soccer Championship here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Heading to the second half, and Fresno City College, it's like deja vu all over again. Joe Hickey, Fresno with the late goal in that first half, and off another set piece as Dave Lazaret and I traded a few texts during halftime discussing that one and talking about the eerie similarity. But again, the Rams running the template to perfection, disciplined defensively throughout this first half, really limiting opportunities, waiting for the moment. They create the set-piece opportunity with a hard drive, a good attack, and then Alexis Rodriguez takes care of the rest.
And over on the other end, as you said, the very disciplined defense, generally able to bottle things up to the point that Mount Sac have largely been left with just shots from distance. They've taken them from about 20 yards, which is not to say they have not challenged Evan Gamenti in goal. They've certainly managed to force a couple of challenging saves out of him, especially the one about 5 minutes prior to the Fresno goal.
Yeah, ultimately, you feel like it's going to take a ricochet or a bounce or just a sensational shot from outside. The Rams just aren't going to allow much more than that to really happen. But you wonder also at some point if the Mounties can create their own set-piece opportunity and see if maybe that can produce a chance as well. We're underway in the second half. Again, Fresno City College in the white jerseys. A great slide tackle by Santoyo, but played out of bounds, and the Rams will have the throw in. So Fresno City College in the white jerseys. They will work it from left to right here in the second half. Mount Sac in the maroon jerseys, and they will go from right to left here in the second half. Loose ball played out, and it'll be a throw-in coming for Fresno as Segura will actually leave it for Rangel, and Rangel will look to throw in on the near side and does. Looking for Benitez. Benitez challenged hard and the ball knocked out as Estrada brought the pressure, and Rangel with another throw-in coming. Of course, the tension here is palpable as Fresno City College, with the 1-0 lead, will Mount Sac be able to come up with an attack and an opportunity here to tie it up, but also on the other side of that is to throw it into the box, a loose ball on goal momentarily, but sent out. Now headed back in. They fight for it. It's still loose. Out near the top of the box and cleared out, and the Mounties will go on the attack. But if you're Fresno City College, boy, if you could put another one on the board.
It was that second opportunity, too, that looked the most dangerous, that header that was served back in.
Mason Gonzalez playing in the back. Had that one momentarily, or I should say, playing up front at the center forward position. This is Garcia.
And Aguilar using his big frame to get in the way and ward off the Fresno attacker on the refeed. We've seen those be dangerous in the women's game a couple of times as well. The first opportunity cleared, and then you're still kind of at 6s and 7s looking to see who's who.
That was Farias trying to thread one through, and it's played back out and off of Mount Sac, and a throw-in coming for the Rams. Farias tried to get that through a sea of legs, looking for Cazares, and Santoyo and Cazares been partners in crime for much of this fantastic season for Mount Sac on that front line.
Pretty nice work there by DeSantos to get the little touch, earn the throw-in, relieve the pressure here.
That one hooked into the Mountie zone. They'll try to center
Oh,
up,
boy.
but it's Segura. Segura looking for an attack. Estrada with the bump, clears it away, and will send it back to Hernandez. Now the Mounties want to go quickly. Vargas pressured by Segura.
That was crucial from Estrada. At the very least, needed to slow that attack up on the giveaway, and did it one better and won the ball.
Yeah, terrific job by Estrada. And the Rams can't muster a shot. Souter, hard drive, looking for Santoyo, and Rodriguez, the hero to this point, clears it out, and the Rams can set up defensively. The throw in coming, they have it in, Mounties with a drive on the far side. Tackle and down goes Escobar. Tied up with Mora.
Nothing there in it for the referee. Just goes over the back line for a goal kick. Mount Sac fans initially not thrilled with that call and started to voice their displeasure, but it's generally pretty quiet here. As you said, nervy. It's a little difficult to yell when you're biting your fingernails.
Those of you scoring at home, the Rams now over 600 minutes without allowing a goal. This one timed into Mountie territory, recovered by the Rams. Benitez on the drive. Partially blocked as he went to center it up, and Hernandez with the sliding stop, but this is off of Mount Sac, so a corner kick coming. And a set piece opportunity for the Rams, who've already scored on 2 set pieces so far this weekend.
Some solid foreshadowing. Let's see if it bears any fruit.
Mountie fans hoping not. Benitez into the box, and it's the Mounties that will clear it out. Throw in coming. That is the eventual Fresno class of 2037 on your screen right there. They already have their jerseys, already ready to play. Long throw in, it's loose in the box and cleared out.
Here comes that second service.
Only maroon jerseys home, and eventually played to Estrada, who will send it over to Souder on the far side. Santoyo being doubled off the ball, now pops free on the dribble drive. Again,
Nice serve by
deflected as they
Casares.
fan it outside into the box looking for Iniguez, and it's cleared out but not all the way. Santoyo trying to control, gets it to Souder at the top of the box. Down goes a Mountie player, and a foul coming on Rangel. It was Iniguez trying to ward off Rangel, and we'll look at the replay here. Keep eye right there as Iniguez, and just a little push from Rangel, and I don't know if he pushed him with that right forearm, but it certainly was an unfortunate place for his right forearm to be.
just a little bit clumsy here now.
Yeah, as he went down, because I think it's a no-doubter call. I don't know how you don't make that call. And so now.
So here you wonder if you might see something in the way of a scheme, because it's almost a little bit too close to try to get it up over the wall and back down.
They'll back off the wall as the Rams will line up 5.
Solid use of Pedro Gomez right here, tallest guy on the pitch.
And it's Iniguez who will take the free kick. No, it's Padilla. Deflected off the wall as Iniguez, Santoyo, and Padilla all lined up. And it ended up being off the left foot of Padilla. It's played out off of Fresno, so Mount San Antonio College does get a corner kick as they work here in the 53rd minute.
You mentioned at the start of our second half the effect that a few set pieces might have. Mount Sac not with a ton of them in the first half.
Looking for the far post and overshoots Escobar. Arrington will let this one roll out of play, and it'll go back to Fresno. Fresno has this one cleared by Padilla, who sidesteps a Ram defender and gets a shot softly on goal as he got around Mora on the drive. Played ahead into space. Casares giving chase, and it's played out by Alvarado.
Alvarado kicking that one into the stadium.
I started to make the point that Fresno made their way through a north bracket that opened up somewhat as the 2 and 3 seeds were eliminated. So they ended up defeating the 10 and 11 seed in Hartnell and San Joaquin Delta. So the bracket opened up nicely for them. But no one can doubt in any way, shape, or form if they can finish this one off the road they took here at the Final Four, facing the top 2 seeds from the South, and they were able to get past Cerritos and now hold a 1-0 lead over Mount Sac with a lot of time to go, though, here 55th minute.
Well, and Hartnell may not have been one of the top seeds, but they were for sure the only defense that gave up fewer goals this season than Fresno did.
I think you got to be amazed somebody scored.
Do we have the bracket? Did somebody? Was it 0-0 in PKs?
I thought it went
well,
down.
Because Fresno hasn't given one up. So.
Yeah, it's 1-0.
Okay.
Fresno got the win in a familiar scoreline. Cazares chipping it ahead in space. Looking for a drive from Vargas. Vargas tried to play that one to the middle, but it's out off of Mount Sac. Throw-in coming for Fresno. And we wondered if that might ultimately be a way that you would have to attack Fresno at some point if you're Mount Sac, with longer passes, maybe into space, not entirely dissimilar to what Golden West was able to do in the semifinals a year ago, with long passes to Chris Perdomo for a couple of early goals. Meanwhile, we do have a whistle and a call on the field. And maybe starting to see a little bit of that in the second half, though, with some longer passes being attempted by the Mounties as you look at the replay, and Vargas going down off a collision from Gonzalez. And the ball ultimately goes to the Mounties.
It's the second time we've seen Mason Gonzalez hit the deck.
And he has it now. Gonzalez on a hard drive, overran the ball, chipped back by Padilla, who's got the steal.
You need that.
Out to Vargas. Vargas has Iniguez in front. Moves it to the right, trying to line it up, drops it up top to Cazares. Cazares with a little move and fans it back outside, and Iniguez will recover.
For the briefest moment, there was a good-looking lane for Cazares, and then it got just a bit further onto his left, and they closed it.
Trying to body up on Iniguez is Segura, and the call ultimately against Segura, so a free kick coming for Paul Iniguez. Iniguez again looking for the far post, and it's Dementi able to punch it clear. Throw in coming. Santoyo wants to move quickly. But now he'll wait, and Cazares will handle the throw-in. They've moved. You can take a look as you see the screen. They moved Souder all the way up, so starting to move more players up into the box for the Mounties. Looking for an opportunity here is Segura. Able to clear that one out to midfield where Aguilar is waiting. Back to Estrada. Farias chipped in, and again it's at the top, but it's headed back out by Fresno. Santoyo on top of Mora, who partially fanned on the clear. Out to DeSantos. DeSantos able to get it to the near side. Wants Segura. 50-50 ball, down goes Segura. And the whistle comes in late, and what's the call is DeSantos is down.
And also the second time we've seen him hit the deck. Unlike Gonzalez, he seems to be in considerably more pain the second time around.
Well, you'll see DeSantos right in the center of your screen here. At the top there. Well, working there against Jason Garcia, I believe. And a little contact on the lower left leg there. Mountie fans not entirely believing Ju DeSantos, I think is the only way we could put it.
Well, at this point in the game, especially down a goal and potentially a half hour from losing out in a title game, you're going to believe that every person that hits the deck is definitely faking. That's just, as a fan, that's where your mind is at this point.
So the call goes against Mount San Antonio College with a free kick coming for Fresno. Alvarado over to Gomez. Gomez chips it to the top of the box. The header redirected up top. Caballero couldn't come up with it cleanly. Played out by Souter back to midfield.
Caballero
Rodriguez trying to keep it alive, but does for Mount Sac. Santoyo threads a pass through. Mounties on the charge. Left footer from Cazares, blocked at the point. Kept alive. One-timer on goal. Vargas with the shot, but Gamenti able to come up with the save for Fresno. And for the Mounties, as good a look as they've had in the second half. Finally getting some of their big guns into the fray with Santoyo and Cazares teaming up for a shot, and then another one for Vargas. Rams trying for a quick counter. Poke check, frees it, and Farias on the drive, gets by Benitez.
Rides that challenge nicely.
Farias tries to drop it for Cazares, who goes down. Long pass up ahead, and Souter going to play it ahead to Hernandez, who will quickly switch the attack to the near side as Estrada will track it down. Nice stretch from Segura.
Cazares looks to be in fine shape, just wrong-footed by that pass and tried to switch gears and lost his balance in the process.
Well, again, the Mounties all hands on deck at this point. You can ill afford to lose anybody as Rangel is able to play it off Iniguez. Long throw in. Vargas keeps it alive, but the Rams come away with possession. Rangel chips it ahead. Caballero can't quite control. Again, they'll play it back to Hernandez. Souter with a little fake. Now sends it ahead. Mounties looking for an attack as Farias tries to switch, plays it off the referee. Wrong place, wrong time for Conrad Garcia.
The signal from Jorge Estrada looking for them to play him the ball immediately over here, free as a bird on the left side, but they don't go that way.
Souter tries to thread one through. Rodriguez. Counter developing. Caballero at the top of the box. Down he goes.
Referee says on the ball.
Clean tackle by Aguilar. Now the Mounties want to run. Iniguez, center field. Looking for a drive and instead puts it on goal, and Gamenti able to scoop save.
Very nearly got that deflection we've been talking about too. We'll get a look at the replay here of the tackle by Aguilar.
It's the second time I can recall Aguilar making a really nice recovery on a quick counter from Fresno, and able again to take the angle and get back and come up with a clean steal. And boy, oh boy, do you need that if you're Mount Sac. You can ill afford to go down 2-0 in this one. Again, trying to get it to Caballero in space, and they do, left of the box. Caballero will center up, but overshoots the drive.
I'm not sure he got a good look at what Mason Gonzalez.
Yeah, Mason Gonzalez on the drive.
I don't think he got a good look at where Gonzalez was going. He wanted to take that run to the near post, and instead the cross ended up on the far.
So the Mounties get it back. 64th minute. The goal by Rodriguez, still the difference. Santoyo to Cazares. Looking to attack on the far side. The ball squirts through, but the Rams able to play it back to Gamenti, who will one-time this one out of play.
Arrington getting just enough of that. For a split second, it looked like it was through him and was going to be a jailbreak down the right side.
Well, I can't speak to a big change in tactics, but you feel a sense of urgency developing for Mount San Antonio College looking to attack harder on any opportunity that they can. Vargas trying to center, and Rangel has that one off the shin and out, and a corner kick coming, and a chance for a set piece for Mount Sac. Overshoots. And to the right of the box, Padilla able to keep it in, tries to chip it back in front, sent back out, and the Rams will clear it all the way to Caballero. Caballero wants a counter. Gonzalez on the drive, but it ends up back with Caballero and ends up ricocheting to Benitez. The Rams still in possession. Gonzalez trying to ward off a defender on the challenge by Farias. And the ball knocked out of play, and a throw-in coming for Fresno City College.
I was about to comment there, 10 Rams inside the box on that last corner kick. I don't know if it's quite parking the bus yet, because they certainly are very spread out in there, but defending with numbers, if nothing else. And they've got a lot of skill to go along with those numbers, but the numbers don't hurt.
And here comes Yu DeSantos returning. Rams look to throw in, just left of the box. Headed clear, but not all the way out. And DeSantos collision with Farias, it looked like it. It's Farias who's pleading his case, and that is not a welcome sight for Mount San Antonio fans. Let's see if we watch it on the replay. And
I'm looking at the reaction from DeSantos. I almost think he thought he was going to be whistled for that foul for sweeping under the player. A little surprised on both ends.
Or is it trying to sell a little bit of like, hey, look, this guy's, running into me. And, there's so much trying to manipulate here if you can. Calls either way can be so huge. Obviously, we'll have to speculate on that. But a big free kick coming for Fresno. This is right about the spot where the lightning bolt happened.
If anything, just a
in
little
the first
closer.
half. Blocked at the point. Still loose, high in the air and out of play.
Yeah, the difficulty there, about 2 yards closer, because on the original goal that we saw from Fresno at the end of the first half, the wall was positioned right on the border of the box. This time, about 2 yards in, and just enough that it gets that much harder to get it up and over.
Yeah, you can't quite get the same air. It is a corner kick coming for Fresno. Hooked into the box, the header just over the crossbar. And was it Mora, I believe?
Gomez, the 15 there.
Gomez, excuse me. Yeah, Gomez with the height. And watch here on the replay, and I can't tell if it was Gomez or Arrington. Both in the area, but the shot did not miss by much, just over the crossbar. And you can take a breath if you're a Mount Sac fan, and back to it. Still 1-0 here in the 68th minute. Padilla plays it ahead, and Vargas tried to control on the far side and is out of play. Fresno with a throw-in coming.
The Rams leaving a few more players forward on that goal kick than I think they've generally been accustomed to.
And the throw-in ahead, Michael Gonzalez challenged by Soder, and Soder plays it out to the corner. Gonzalez able to recover. The Rams still have the ball. Cleared back out on the far side, and the throw-in going to be awarded to Mount San Antonio College. They want to move quickly. Cazares challenged briefly, now chips it ahead, but Gomez waiting, sends it right back out. Santoyo with a head of steam right of the box, tries to play it ahead.
Off of Arrington, that'll be a corner.
It's Padilla that will handle the corner.
Fresno having to pack the box, largely because at the moment Mount San Antonio is packing the box.
Yeah, only 2 players back for Mount San Antonio. Trying to play it up top, looking for Iniguez, but it's Segura stepping into the lane.
Well read. Also not particularly well hit.
Trying to play it in space to Gonzalez, and Estrada able to step in front. After it looked for the briefest of moments like Gonzalez might be able to get a step. Escobar keeping that one alive. And a good effort from Piscino. But he can't find the handle, and the Rams will have a throw-in.
Returning from Fresno City, number 17, Michael Vega.
And Mason Gonzalez is walking down the near sideline.
Yeah, I think they've just taken him out for Vega. He's going to take the scenic route.
Yeah. That one lost by Michael Gonzalez, chipped ahead, looking for Piscino. Out off of Mount Sac, so the Rams have it back. Creeping toward the 71st minute. Souter trying to keep this one alive, and does to Padilla. Padilla quickly over to Estrada. Now he's looking to attack on the near side. Soft pass stolen by Rangel. Rangel, top of the box, looking for a drive, and Aguilar with another great slide tackle. Coming away with another clean steal. Plays it ahead to Santoyo. Santoyo challenged by Segura. On the drive, Rodriguez over. And Segura ends up with it off to DeSantos. DeSantos goes down, no call. Iniguez blocked at the point, able to maintain. Back to Padilla. This is Santoyo. Escobar looking to center. Trying for Vargas on the drive. It's cleared not all the way out. Top of the box. DeSantos got a hand on it, or I should say a foot on it. Santoyo's one-timer blocked at the point. Now the Rams want to quickly counter. Caballero. It's 2-on-4, and he will play it back. Segura locked up. Both players go down, and the ball is going to belong to Mount Sac as Segura was working against Escobar. This is Escobar. Santoyo tries to fan it outside, and Gonzalez able to step in the passing lane. He's got it. Rams looking at a 3-on-5. Caballero tried to play it to a driving Vega, who's checked on, but that was broken up. Here come the Mounties. Escobar over to the far side.
Again, the Mounties now tasked with trying to break down this Fresno defense when they're already set in place.
At the top, Padilla leaves it for Escobar, blocked at the point again. Iniguez in front, and a shot just wide, but Clemente made the save just for good measure as Padilla was able to get a foot on it.
We've got a player down here for Fresno who apparently has been there for a little while. The fans a little displeased that play was allowed to continue without him.
I think it's Segura. And he had the big collision tied up working against Escobar about a minute ago, and that's obviously where it happened, and they're going to look at that left thigh, it looks like.
And I think the Fresno trainer is making a point of telling him, no, you don't need to scoot your way off the field. We'll go ahead and tend to you right here and let some time bleed off. His first instinct was just to try to scoot off the field and let play resume.
They're going to try and help Segura to his feet.
Wary of putting much of any weight on that left leg.
They will have to help him off and go back to the top. We talked about Segura, listed as both a midfielder and a forward, and obviously brings a strong measure of versatility.
Yeah, and he started off the game in the forward line along with the other midfielder put up there, Melvin Benitez, which surprised us a little bit. In the later going, of course, they've been making use of Caballero, also listed, by the way, as a midfielder. In that front roll, Segura's been tucking in a little bit more and occupying himself with trying to win balls in the midfield instead. Iniguez judged to have used Dos Santos for a bit of leverage, trying to win that header. A free kick here coming for Fresno.
And it'll be Rangel or Dos Santos. Rodriguez. He'll play it to the far side. And a big collision. Another free kick coming. It was Arrington who went down hard.
He gets ready to take the kick himself.
Tipped it into the box, looking for Gonzalez. It was Vega who tried to get the header on goal, but sent it wide.
Again, pulling up with some physical problems. Mason Gonzalez limping a bit, and he's already been down twice. Make it 3 times.
Well, it was predicted for thunderstorms and a steady rain today, and it's turned into perfectly sunny, and perhaps fatigue something of a factor. I wouldn't say it's hot out here, but the sun can still drain you a little bit.
Sure.
Long season coming to a close here today. We're potentially 15 minutes from a champion. Dos Santos tried to take that off the bounce.
Berrigan on for the goal scorer there, Alexis Rodriguez.
Estrada gets it ahead to Escobar. Escobar splits the double team. Rangel coming on the challenge as they switch the attack. From the top of the box. And Gomez with the block.
Some calls. There may have been a handball on that.
Yep.
And
well, it was right in the midsection. We'll get a look at this here.
Apparently the assistant referee deciding that is a different replay there. We'll hopefully get a look.
Aguilar.
No, my mistake. They've given it as a corner kick here.
Okay, so no call on the handball, but the ball out, and Mount Sac readies the corner kick in front of the goal. Gemente able to punch it back, not all the way out, and the whistle will give it back to Fresno.
Danger of an Olympico on that one. That ball curling direct from the corner kick flag.
Oh, I don't think there's any question, but it was going in if left unabated. They try to head it back looking for Caballero, but Hernandez quickly out. Again, the joust ball this time won by the Rams. Poked free, but not all the way out. Michael Gonzalez playing it up top. He's looking for Barragan, who is checked in. And they'll play it off of Barragan. Rams bringing some pressure in the Mount Sac third. That's a little bit surprising.
Figuring the best way to arrest the Mount Sac attack is not to let it develop at all.
Well, as we say, it's hard to score from that spot on the field if you're protecting a lead. And the Rams get the throw-in.
Certainly, if anything, a show of trust in the defensive line.
Gonzalez moving to the center, gets the shot off. Too strong. And Gonzalez got himself into open space.
Pressure coming to Santos, nearly taking that away.
It's a calculated gamble. Eric Solberg, as you allude to, Joe, certainly a strong statement of faith in his team's ability to continue to defend on the back line. That one chested by Rangel and sent clear back to midfield. Caballero wins the ball from Padilla. Finds Vega. Vega with the shot to goal!
The gorgeous close control there from Vega, the hero on Friday in the semifinal, coming through again today off the bench.
And he might have brought the championship back to Fresno with that one. It's 2-0 here in the 80th minute, and now for the Mounties, it is full desperation time. And if you're Mount Sac in this situation, as well, no doubt get a look at the replay again. And I think at this point, it's you have to get one to give yourself a chance. So the first thing is to get one as we watch the work of Vega again. Past a diving Alan Hernandez.
It's that last touch with the outside of the boot to open up a little bit of space for the rip. He finds just that avenue between the two center backs, targets the bottom left corner, and drills it.
Well, it is hard to say any more emphatically that Alan Hernandez has been beat by a couple of amazing shots here today to give up the 2 goals again. It goes back to earlier this morning when it was just great execution offensively for the 2 goals for Santiago Canyon in their win. And it's sometimes from the goalkeeper standpoint, there's just not much you can do.
Well, it's something of a relief, too, after seeing a lot of goals scored on Friday, either by way of own goal or by way of maybe slightly controversial soft penalty kicks. It's nice to see well-constructed actions, well-taken chances. Certainly what you want on Championship Sunday.
So Vega with 2 of the 3 goals here this weekend, and maybe the one that put the final nail in the coffin to bring in Fresno. Another championship here. They won it in 2017. Looking to bring it back to the North here in 2019.
Would even up their record against Mount Sac in finals as well, which I'm sure will carry a little bit of joy at the very least for Coach Solberg. Obviously, these players probably not here to have experienced falling to Mount Sac in a final, but he certainly was.
Highlights again. Just how difficult it is to, potentially go undefeated. You had 3 teams that came in here with unblemished records among the 8 teams that made the trip here. And if this score holds, none of those teams will come out of here with the championship.
In fact, I think what it's going to result in is that the only undefeated team this season would end up being Cypress women, who fell in the first round of the playoffs but did so on penalty kicks, and so it counts as a draw instead. No one else managing to get through the entire season avoiding defeat.
Corner kick coming for Mount Sac.
Certainly not over yet here, though. If there's any men's team in the state that could get 2 quick ones, this would seem to be it.
Looking for the far post. Rangel able to clear it for a moment, and Gamenti getting high up, and Gamenti's work on the high balls has been absolutely key.
Yeah, had a couple of saves on a few shots that might have gotten over a lesser goalkeeper, and I mean that both in skill and in just inches of height.
DeSantos plays it out for Gonzalez, who will track it down. Gets it to DeSantos. DeSantos at the top of the box, blocked out front. Played clear to Cazares. Gerardo Cazares with a head of steam. Fans it out. Escobar sidesteps the slide tackle of Rangel, and the shot in front. And again, Gamenti able to handle the high ball, and now he'll settle everything down. Escobar in on Rangel. Looking for a lane. And that one partially blocked by Rangel and an easy play for Clemente. 85th minute. Souter tried to send it across to Vargas, and Gonzalez gambled for the steal. And Benitez came up with the steal, gets it back from Gonzalez. Benitez out to Mason Gonzalez, but Gonzalez not on the drive. And that one over the line, going to go back to Mount San Antonio College. It looked like Benitez and Gonzalez weren't quite on the same page.
A couple substitutions, so the referee's going to stop action here.
Checking in for Fresno City, number 12, Mora, along with number 16, Echeverria.
So Alex Echeverria checking in from Fresno.
Let's go, Alex!
This is Mora.
It's another ball off of a goal kick or off the back line that has just been left perilously short.
I think Fresno ever alert and making the Mounties burn a little more time just to get the ball on the attack at all. Gonzalez, collision, down he goes, no call. Dos Santos ends up with the ball, has that one poked free. Escobar gets it ahead. One more attack coming for the Mounties here as we move into the 87th minute, but that one poked free. As Pisano unable to split the double team.
Interfered with there, and free kick opportunity, and this is a chance to drop another one over, maybe end all doubt. Or perhaps go in the corner. Yep, go in the corner.
Well, that'll work too, I suppose, if you're Fresno. As Gonzalez burn a little bit of time. The challenge comes from Souter. And Gonzalez has that one poked free from Souter. And the ball, I believe that's off of Souter.
It is, yeah. It's going to be a Fresno throw, and they're in no hurry.
And it's Michael Gonzalez. Played ahead looking for Pisano, but sent out by Gomez.
I think they will call that back for the foul earlier against Escobar. The referee signaling for a free kick back near the player benches.
This is Iniguez. Garcia plays it to Cazares. Iniguez moving right, trying to line it up. Overshoots Padilla. Now a shot on the bounce, ricochets in front and cleared out by the Rams.
My goodness, what a goal line clearance there. That looked to have Clemente beaten.
Iniguez. Tries to make a move. Meanwhile, Cazares goes down.
Fouled by Alexis Rodriguez right from the spot where Rodriguez hit the what currently would stand up as the game winner. Almost the identical spot.
Yeah, Rodriguez again looked like the forearm. And it pushed away a little bit there as down went Cazares, and that's going to get you the call. And Iniguez will take the free kick. Looking for the far post. And players going up, and who goes up the highest?
Well, generally the one that's allowed to extend his arms. Especially when he's already that big.
Yeah. I was leaning toward the vertical, but you're right. That obviously affects the result as well. as Clemente comes up with another big save.
Especially given that height advantage that Clemente has there. Interesting decision to try to go service on that so close to the 6.
Iniguez drops the pass at the top. And the pressure comes, and that one's sent out by the Rams.
Look at Mason Gonzalez
against Aguilar, and Aguilar on the challenge, but Gonzalez recovers. Tries to leave a pass for DeSantos, but Aguilar gets back, clears it out, but not all the way. Back to Gonzalez. Moving towards stoppage time. The one-timer from Rangel off of DeSantos. And out to Iniguez. Iniguez plays it to Garcia. Santoyo back. They'll try to switch the attack and come at it from the far side with Escobar. Escobar dogged by Arrington as they continue to battle. And Arrington wins that ball, getting it to Gonzalez. Moved into stoppage time. And
4 minutes given. You hear that from Matt Folsom over at the PA booth.
This one cleared out. It'll belong to Mount San Antonio College. And, you know, Joe, I think if you're the Rams, you'll think it just don't commit a penalty in the box. I think it's about to.
The funny thing about that is you almost feel like that wouldn't that would actually accomplish one of their goals, which is it would still get rid of about a minute of playing time.
I think if you could just keep the ball on the field, no penalty shots here. With 4 minutes to go, it's the Rams are right on the precipice. Into the box. Cleared out. Souter tries to keep it in. Garcia tries to play it back in, and it ends up in the hands of Clemente.
And Pedro Gomez skying to take that one away. You saw the number 11, Alan Pisano, trying to get into position for something there, but giving away a good 5 or 6 inches of height to Gomez in the center.
Souter chips it ahead. DeSantos battling, and he comes away with the ball. They try to center up. Coming back, it's Garcia, who will now have to track it down all the way in the Mount Sac end. And coming up in the postgame, we will hope to have a word with the MVP in the men's bracket. Rodriguez clears it to the top of the box. Iniguez trying to gain control. Arrington comes on the double team. No call coming. The ball is still loose in front. And now played out to Gonzalez. Gonzalez goes down hard. Both getting after it. Gonzalez still down. And it was Brandon Pineda locked up with Gonzalez. And that was a nice bit of sportsmanship. Pineda tried to head over there and at the tail end of that play and check in on Mason Gonzalez. And yeah, it's good to see him. And the game gets physical out there, but you know, you always hope that the mutual respect continues.
Sure, and
from the teams competing.
Mason Gonzalez has absorbed his share of punishment and then some today.
Yeah, you watch how Mason Gonzalez plays, and I think he's a high contact type player. As another whistle comes in as DeSantos battles Cazares, and you know, Mason Gonzalez is one of those guys that, as we get a look at him, he plays 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, we've actually had a couple of times we've had to talk about him being shot out of a cannon, and
Yep.
Actually, come to think of it, the other time we said it was also one of the times he went down and was down for a bit. Only about 30 seconds left.
Into the box, header on goal, and Clemente just gets a hand robbing Souter.
Trying to take that streak without conceding a goal all the way down to the final tick of the clock of the 2019 season.
That is a great look for the Mounties. They need 2, so that would have only gotten them halfway there, but might have at least been a nice moment as the Rams, as we close toward the final whistle, and there it is. The men's championship is heading back to the north. Fresno City College, your 2019 3C2A men's soccer champions. We're going to step aside. We will give you video coverage of all the award presentations, and we'll stick around here and let you get a look at that. And, of course, we also hope to have a brief interview with the MVP from the men's bracket. Once again, Fresno City College 2019 3C2A men's soccer champions. Step aside. Test, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, 94, 93. Keep going. I'm really not going to change volume here. This is probably going to be me. Okay. Do you want to check on the stream? Check. Yeah, I'm 4. I'm on the board, so I think the board's all good. So you're hearing me where? All right, so let me know when you're. Okay, cool. There we go with the nice big monitor right in the sweet. That monitor was partially obscuring me.
Okay. Go live. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we're back with co-MVPs Angel Alvarado, Pedro Gomez. Guys, congratulations bringing the championship back to the north of Fresno City College. It's got to be a great feeling. Let's start by talking about, obviously, as center backs for this team, the defensive job that you were able to do. Two opponents coming in here this weekend in Cerritos and Mount San Antonio College that are prolific offensive teams. How were you able to stifle that offense to the tune of no goals allowed on the weekend?
Honestly, in my opinion, it would be like our bond with the team. Like they could have put any left back, right back, center back. It would have been the job would have been done the same. Our communication was fantastic throughout the year. We started off a little shaky, and it just grew from then on.
And Pedro, one of the things that we talked about during the broadcast, beyond the fact that offensive opportunities for your opponents were so few and far between, but when they did come, Evan Gamente was unbelievable in goal. And talk about what it means for a player to have a player like Gamente behind you, a keeper that can make the kind of saves that he's able to make when you do need him to.
Yeah, the center backs, the goalies, we trust each other, all the players actually. And we never had struggles with the goalies, no, but just we score in the middle of the season. But right now, like, I trust everyone. I love this guy.
Yeah. All right, just because I'm interested in this kind of thing, just so you guys know, it's 657 minutes now without a goal. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And the streak continues.
Yep.
I want to talk a little bit about the mindset of the team. When you guys, defense is obviously such a big part of what you do. Can you talk about sort of how that translates into how you play? It seems like you're very comfortable early in the game, taking your time, not taking a lot of chances, but you're just looking for that one opportunity. Scored a couple times on set pieces after, late in the first half. Can you talk about what the approach is? What does Eric Solberg tell you guys about how you go about playing early in a game and what you're looking for?
Well, coaches said that they were going to come in hot 15, 20 minutes in, and we were expecting that. So if they gave 100%, we were there 200%. We just waited it out until we had our opportunity, and we put it away. And then luckily it came right before the first half. That was a big advantage for us, and we capitalized when we could.
Yeah, just an unbelievable goal there on that one. And then just once you get the lead, and talk about in the second half, like how does that change what you're trying to do? Does it change what you're trying to do once you guys get that 1-0 lead? You have that team kind of desperately trying to find a way against you.
We came in with the mentality that it was 0-0 again. We knew that we had a goal to our advantage, but like we didn't fall back and try to defend the whole game. We were also trying to like again in the first half capitalize every opportunity we had. That's just how it is. We just try to take our opportunities.
One of the last things that we did talk about was that you return as champions from 2017. Now the nature of this is it's 2 years here, so that was a little bit before you guys were here. But this is a program that is so often in the mix for championships, and it's got a program with such a rich history of success in soccer. And how aware of that are you, that even though maybe you weren't here on that specific team, that you're bringing a championship back here? What does that mean coming into a program that's had so much success?
I think first is love for the coaches, love for the players, like passion for the sport that you play, All right, like I love everybody.
Yeah, it's breathtaking. Like you said, they won it in 2017. That just gave us motivation to bring it back. Last year we fell short of Final Four. We lost first round in the Final Four, and we came back hungry because we wanted a chip. We wanted that chip back.
Well, you guys are the 2019 champions. Going to give you one last chance here on YouTube Worldwide. Anybody specifically that you want to say hi to or say a thank you to help you get here as champions here in the 3C2A?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say thank you mainly for my dad, that he always believed me, and mainly for my mom. She passed away last year, and I know, she's really proud of me over there. Yeah, and for all my teammates, my coach, staff, all my friends.
Yeah, but you, Angel.
I want to give a shout out to my family, my girlfriend. They're all right here. They came to watch me, and they're always here supporting me. My parents as well. They couldn't make it today, unfortunately, but I know they were cheering me on wherever they are. My teammates. We had a rough start in the season trying to score, but like after the bond, like we just created a bond, and I mean, I'm really proud of my team for picking it up, especially here. We had like 14 shutouts. That's chemistry in the back, everything. That I love my team and everybody.
The tight team and the tight defense and the 2019 championship. They are your 3C2A soccer champions here in 2019. For everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com, that will wrap up our coverage. Thanks for joining us. So long, everybody.